Hello, and thanks for tuning in to another update video. My name is Sarah Stout. I'm the Program Development Manager here at the National Association of Flight Instructors. If you're liking this series, please be sure to subscribe to the NAFI YouTube channel and click the bell so you're notified first of any new releases. We also encourage you to consider joining NAFI at nafinet.org. NAFI memberships are what keep this content coming. This month has been lighter on updates than previous months. In this video, we'll cover the NOTAM acronym changing again, a policy update for specialty aircraft examiners, a new airworthiness directive impacting aircraft commonly used for tailwheel training, and finally, a few words of caution on flight instructor recent experience end dates. On February 10th, 2025, the FAA issued Notice 7930.114 NOTAM term change from Notice to Air Missions to Notice to Airmen. This notice reverts the acronym to the definition it had for many years before the 2021 change to Notice to Air Missions. At the time of this recording, there was no information available from airman testing on when this change would be reflected in ACS or PTS documents, handbooks, or knowledge tests. I didn't search through every last handbook, but I did find examples in the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge and the Instrument Procedures Handbook that reference Notice to Airmen. The Pilot Controller Glossary, again at the time of this recording, is still showing Notice to Air Missions. So you may have to advise your students on both and this change for some time. We'll keep you updated when we see more from airman testing, and there's a link to the notice in the video description box. Effective January 28th, 2025, the FAA issued a clarification on the national policy for specialty aircraft examiners conducting practical tests in experimental aircraft. This notice is directed at examiners training and conducting practical tests in surplus military aircraft from World War II, requiring a type rating that have since been issued a special airworthiness certificate for an experimental purpose. In the past, inspectors and examiners could issue a type rating at the successful completion of a practical test in these experimental aircraft. Now that practice is being discontinued. There are two options for issuing authorizations for pilots to act as PIC of these aircraft. The first is that the pilot could pass a practical test in the type certificated aircraft in accordance with a specific guidance in the 8900.1. The other option is that the pilot could pass training and an evaluation for an issuance of an experimental aircraft authorization. So this second option would only allow them to act as pilot in command of the specific type of aircraft with an experimental airworthiness certificate, whereas being issued the full type rating by passing the practical test in a type certificated aircraft would offer the pilot the option to operate either the type certificated or the experimental aircraft. This was a 2-page notice issued by the FAA, and there's a link in the description box. Next is an airworthiness directive impacting aircraft used for tailwheel and other flight training. The AED was published on February 13th and becomes effective March 20th, 2025, impacting Piper, FS 2001, 2002, and 2003 corporation aircraft. The FAA found that certain aircraft from the models on this list are susceptible to the unsafe condition of a broken rudder due to the type of steel used to manufacture the rudder posts. The FAA estimates about 6,500 aircraft will be impacted. There are various timelines for when an aircraft must comply with this AD. If you own, operate, or conduct training in one of these impacted models, take the time to determine if this AD applies to your particular aircraft. A link to the AD is in the video description. Now that we're a few months into the flight instructor recent experience end date model for CFI certificates, it's a good time to remind CFIs to be sure you are checking your recent experience end date in the Airman Registry after you complete your recent experience requirements and application. It takes about 6 weeks after submitting your completed application for your new REED date to appear online. While errors are very rare, if you notice an error, reach out to your FERC provider, or if you used another method, the certifying officer who signed your application. The staff at Airman Certification Branch are doing amazing work to support the CFI community, and NAFI is very thankful for all that they do. Thank you again for tuning into this video series. If you aren't already a NAFI member, please consider joining us at nafinet.org. NAFI members are what keep this video series going. Be one of the first to know when a new video is released by subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell for notifications. We'll see you next month.